Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Connection Squared. I'm Hannah Chapman, the founder of X Squared Wealth Planning, where I help visionary entrepreneurs really take control of their finances, understand how their business and their personal finances work together, and then build a plan to create more wealth with joy and with ease. And in this program, I really enjoy talking to other entrepreneurs and business owners who help entrepreneurs in a different way. So I am helping you create wealth on the investment side, and Michael DeLon is helping you create the stuff that's going to help you launch into being that expert. So Michael DeLon is the founder of Paperback Expert, who helps you create a book without writing a word. And Michael, thank you for joining me, first of all.
Well, you're welcome, Hannah. It's going to be fun.
Yes, and I would love for you to just tell us how you got here. So go ahead, take the floor.
Sure. Oh, thanks so much. So my story, I'll tell you the long story in a really short and condensed version. Okay. And then we just go anywhere you want. So my wife, Jill, and I have been married since 90. Okay. We've got 4 children, 2 biological sons, 2 adopted daughters. We did foster care for 8 years, and that's where our daughters came from, is the foster care system. And one is now 13 and one's 11, or my daughters. And I was in Christian radio for about 9.5 years, and that's where I learned how to do marketing for small business owners. But after about 9 years of doing that, God led us out of Christian radio to a startup.com back in the days when Amazon, you ever heard of Amazon? Remember when they were just getting started and they had like William Shatner on the radio talking about the world's largest bookstore? Back then I was selling like websites and banner ads to car dealerships who didn't even have anything because it was so new. Well, that company was ahead of its time, Hannah, and that means it went bankrupt. And so I found myself standing in the living room of my house, looking at the ceiling going, God, what am I supposed to do? Well, Jill and I got married in 90, but the first 5 years of our marriage were like this because she and I are complete opposites. And even though we both grew up in church, nobody ever taught us how to be married. So we went to a family life marriage conference, and God used that conference to radically change our marriage, taught us God's blueprints for marriage. I didn't know he had blueprints. So when the .com went out of business, God called us into full-time vocational ministry with family life. So we moved to Little Rock, Arkansas after raising support and started serving in the radio department. Did that for about 6 years, climbed the corporate ladder. I was on the leadership team. Things were going great. Then they started going through corporate reorganizations. And after the 3rd reorganizational chart came out, my name was no longer on the leadership team. I thought that's very interesting. So they started shuffling me around the ministry to do different things. And that began 2 years of what I call my prison term, because I was then at a job that I hated, at a ministry that I loved. And for 2 years, I'd go home about every day, just emotionally exhausted. And so I finally got fed up, and I talked to my wife and I prayed. I said, God, I got to get out of this place. And he says, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to go help small business owners with marketing because they struggle with it. They hate it. And I love it. And he said, okay, go. So on January 1st of 2013, I stepped out of ministry and I escaped prison, and I became an entrepreneur and started a marketing consulting firm here in Little Rock. And I'd come out and help and talk with you, Hannah. And I'd say, I think I can help you grow your business. You'd meet with me. We'd have a great conversation. You'd say, now, Michael, what have you done in the last few years? And I say, well, I've helped build marriages and families at Family Life. And you say, Michael, that's honorable. Way to go. Oh, look at the time. I've got another meeting. Let's keep talking another time. And you would usher me out the door. You wouldn't hire me. Well, nobody would hire me. I was having a hard time getting clients. And I thought, this is not good. I got to fix this. So I went to my church. I was pacing the hallways one day, just praying, crying out to God, saying, how do I help Hannah, Lord? And he laid on my heart this idea to take all of my marketing strategies and put them in a book. And so I did. And so in 2013, I published my first book called On Marketing. Then, Hannah, I would call you. I'd set an appointment. I'd mail a copy of my book to you. About a week later, I'd walk into your office for our meeting, and there it was. My book was on your desk, dog-eared, highlighted, and underlined. You'd read my book. And in that meeting, you'd say, now, Michael, in your book, you said, how do you help me do that? And you'd hire me. And then the next person hired me, and I started gaining clients. I thought, now, this is really cool. Now, Hannah, what changed between the first time I met with you and that second time? Did my background in marketing change? Nope. Did my background in ministry change? The only thing that changed, Hannah, was how you thought of me. When you got a copy of my book, I instantly became an expert in marketing. And when I walked in, you had pen in hand, ready to take down the prescription for your solution, for your challenge. That changed everything for me. That changed my business, changed my life. And I asked the question, why don't more business owners do this? Why don't they create? They're all expert. You're an expert at what you do and helping entrepreneurs create wealth. You're an expert at it. How do you take it from there to being a recognized expert? Because in our culture, experts have books. Well, it's challenging to write a book. There's just a lot to it. So we created a process that eliminates all those barriers. We actually interview you, our writers do, and you speak to write your book because you have everything in your head needed to create a book. So that's what we help entrepreneurs do now is take what's in their head, their expertise, and get it out. We structure it into a book, and then we teach them how to use that book to educate their audience, convert more clients, get referrals, and grow their revenue. Whew. That was a lot, but that gives you a perspective kind of what I do, but kind of why I do what I do. This is not something I just said, I want to start being a book publisher. No, there's a whole story behind why I do this.
Right. And so what you do now, does it focus more on the book, right? Like, so, or are you still, you're bringing a marketing bent, right,
Yeah, totally.
to it. So tell me, like, how is that different? How do you work with people differently from someone who's like, oh, you can just self-publish, right? Like,
right. Yeah. So having a book is great, being an author. But if you don't understand as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you don't understand how to use your book to position yourself as an expert, to put it in the hands of your audience, to get referrals using your credibility as an author, a book is like a webinar. Do you know how many books are on Amazon? Good luck finding them, right? But if you're just wanting to be an author, because I'm probably not your guy. If you're wanting to use your credibility, your expertise to educate your audience and to gain more clients, then a book is one of the best marketing assets you can ever have, because marketing happens in the mind of your audience. It's how they think about you, right? Why is everybody following Simon Sinek? Right? Because he did a talk on a TED Talk, became pretty popular. Then he started writing books, and then he started speaking. Is he really that smart? Is he that much smarter than everybody else? No, he's not. But he has the perception of being this guru, this expert, and everybody's waiting on the next book, from which he'll launch a speech, from which he'll make hundreds of thousands of dollars every time he gives that, right? He's not making money selling his book. He's earning money because he's a thought leader. He sells his ideas through his book. That's the secret, if there is a secret, for an entrepreneur to have a book is you're not going to get rich selling on Amazon. You're going to gain clients because your clients are going to see you as a thought leader, and they're going to be attracted to you because you have something that has shelf life and that something that has perceived value in the mind of your audience. Did that answer that question?
Yes. And it brought up something else that, like, when I'm working with entrepreneurs and business, like I feel that same thing too. Like, oh, you are a genius, right? Like, this person does this thing this way so differently from anyone else, right? And it's beautiful. And like, where's this? There's that kind of question that they're having of, why am I not having more success?
Yes.
But if you were to ask them, like, can you detail this process out? Can you show me how you're different? All of a sudden it's like panic mode, right? Like, oh, I don't know. Or like, talk about writing a book and they're like, I don't have anything to say. How would I do that? Do you find that when you're talking to people as well? And how do you like pull the expert out of the person who clearly is an expert, but maybe doesn't quite like believe it yet.
Yep. Great. No, we every week. That's our experience every week. We'll talk to people and they're not sure that they're an expert. They don't think they are. The reality is you are. So how do we pull it out is our writers are skilled at interviewing, just asking questions. And what we're going to do is ask you a lot of the same questions that a prospect would ask you, because we're outside of your industry. We really don't understand it like you do. And we talk about your background and your history, your story. Here's what I find, Hannah, most business owners, most entrepreneurs have a story to tell of why they're doing what they're doing, but they're not telling that story. And it's that story that's going to resonate with your ideal audience and draw them in. And in the financial world, I tell people all the time, people don't want to buy stocks, bonds, annuities, life insurance. They don't want to buy those things. They want what those things bring them, right? But they don't talk about those things. Talk about the transformation that's going to happen when you work with me and you follow my process. Here's how I helped John and Susie. Here's their story. Here's where they went. Here's what they were up against. Here's how we help them. By following my process, we're able to give them the retirement that they really have enjoyed, spending time with their whatever it is, right? That's what compels me to have a conversation with you. And then when I'm face to face with you, now you can go as deep as you want to go. But you have enough information. I talked to a guy yesterday or last week. We just published his book, drove him to be an Amazon bestseller selling author. And he's talking with me now. He's like, okay, I'm thinking about my next book, but I don't know if I have enough to write a whole book. And I said, Jay, you have tons of information, because he's thinking he has to go down and talk about, no. We just have to tell stories. So you have so much. You just need somebody to pull it out of you. And that happens when a skilled writer can ask some questions. We just record everything. You'd be shocked at what you're going to tell us. And it's going to go in the book and you're going to be amazed at how well it comes out.
I think that is the key, right? For most people who, even when I'm doing, when I'm writing, or, posting on Instagram or anything, it's people don't necessarily want to read paragraph after paragraph about like what's going on with the economy. Are we in a recession? Maybe. What do we do about it? We wait through it, right? I mean, like they want like just the little bit of information, and then they want to know who you are because they want to be able to trust, right? So, and I think it's that way with most industries at this point. Well, I mean, even talking marketing or social media managers or, whatever it is, there's so many experiences that people have of feeling burned, feeling not listened to, feeling like, oh, that person just took my money and ran, like that kind of thing. And so what you're really looking to do is build trust. Build trust more quickly, from the provider standpoint, but also let that person know. And I think this is more it for me, like let the person on the other side know that I will hold you. You can trust me that, but you have to show it. You can't just say that, right? Because,
you can trust me. Yeah, sure. Well, that's what everybody expects, right? And that's what I'm a big proponent of books, right? But I'm also a big proponent of video, because I think video is a great way to start revealing yourself, start showing yourself. I think you need to go to your profiles, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. Look at them and look at some competitors. And if you look like and sound like all of your competitors, you're what I call a coffee bean. And I mean, I love coffee, but coffee bean's a coffee bean. Are you giving me a reason to differentiate you and move toward you? Video is a great way to do that. And to be real. I saw one financial advisor last week. I thought it was great. He said, here's behind me is my corporate office. And he's working out of like a nice looking shed in his backyard. And he went on just to tell, he's like, so why would you work with a guy like me? Well, let me tell you, here's some reasons. And this is who I am. And well, let me just welcome you in. And I thought that was so real. I connected with him because he wasn't just, well, I'm just, look at all the designations behind my name and I really don't care. I want to know who you are. Tell me your story. Tell me about your kids. Do you like dogs or cat? What? Help me understand. Isn't that what we do when we go to parties or you meet somebody at a coffee shop for the first time? We're trying to build common ground. Right. Do that through your book. Do that through video. Break down those walls and talk about, yeah, you know what? Interest rates went up another 2% last week. What does that mean to your retirement? How do you navigate the next year, 2 years, 5 years in an environment where inflation's going up, taxes are probably going? What are you going to do? Watch my little video over here, my 3-minute video. I'm going to share with you a couple tips that we work with our clients in a unique way to help. Okay, you got me. Has nothing to do with life insurance or annuities or stocks or I don't care about any of that. I want to know, how am I going to navigate this, right? But it's real. And I think so many times advisors, attorneys, it doesn't matter. We get stuck behind our coffee bean mentality that I have to look like and sound like everybody else. It's like, no, be you. I want to know you. And when I get to know you, Hannah, guess what? I build that trust. That's if there's a secret to marketing, that's it. Be yourself.
Yes. I love that. And I can feel the difference myself when I, when I really shifted, I would say, to speaking. I mean, like, authenticity is like a buzzword right now, but more, I want to say, like, speaking what's on my heart, right? So what is it that's on my heart today that I want to share? And what is it, it could be what's coming up for, like, I've had 3 different client meetings where we talked about, the same issue is like popping up again and again. And hey, let's do like a quick address of this, because if it's in my small client base, then it must be like in the bigger zeitgeist, right? Like, so yeah, when I just share my heart, it goes so much further.
Well, it does. And you and I, before we started this, you and I share a number of things in common, but one of them is that we have now both lost our fathers, right? I would encourage you and other people that talk about that, the death of a loved one. How do you navigate that? How does that impact your financial situation? And how can you make preparations now for that eventual day? Because it's coming, right? We're all going to die. What are you doing now to start preparing for that, or to prepare to, you've got young kids. Are they going to go to college? What are you doing to prepare for that, Hannah? How can you help your clients think through that? These are just real life things that allow you to serve people in a unique way, but they're on your clients' minds. And when you connect with them and say, here's my experience, here's what we're doing, this is how I help my clients, and you're sharing expertise, possibly a unique plan or process that you've laid out. Everybody loves a process, right?
Right.
I go back to
the steps.
Love him or hate him, Dave Ramsey has made a small fortune on his 7 baby steps. Okay, it's a process that anybody can get their head around and go, oh, I'm on step 2. Great. What do I need to do to get step 3? You could do the exact same thing. People like a process. It doesn't have to be 7. It could be 3. It doesn't matter. How have you codified that? How have you brought yourself to the table to build trust and to almost be like a flashlight, beaming down a dark pathway? Because, girl, financial planning and stuff, it's a rat maze to us outside of the industry. We don't get it. It's confusing. But if you can say, you know what, it's okay, Michael, I got it. I've been here. I know here's the pathway. Here are the next 4 steps we're going to take together. Okay. All right. I do it all the time with books. People come to me and they're like, I don't know the first thing about doing a book. That's okay, Hannah. You don't need to know a thing. Can you show up on a Zoom call and talk? We can get your book created. We will guide you every step of the way and get your book amazingly done quickly, right? Okay. We all want a guide. Be the guide.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's where, especially entrepreneurs and business owners who have, like a million other things going on, right? Like they don't, they are ready to, when they come to you, when they come to me, they are ready to give up control of something that is not like, I'm not doing it. I want to write a book, but I have not done it yet. Right. So how do I do it? I want to be financially stable and feel like my personal wealth matches my business success, but I haven't done it yet. So how do I do it? Right. Like that's what they're looking for. And willing, and hey, let's do it. Let's take those steps together. But yeah, that whole aspect of, let's not make it too difficult. Right. Or here from my own mistakes earlier in my career of like charging ahead, right? Like I have my flashlight, but I just went like half a mile and they're like, wait, I can't see you. You're too far away. Like, all right. Let's go a little slower, step at a time.
So yeah. And I'm sure you get it. I'm sure your clients get it with their clients who say, okay, I'm ready to go. Oh, by the way, I just invested in this and this and that and that and that. And you're like, oh, I wish you wouldn't have done that. Right.
Right.
I get clients all the time say, well, you know what? I love to write. I'm going to write the book and then bring it to you. I'm like, no, please don't do that. That's just more work. Right. Let me do what I'm best at. You're best at something else. Right. And it's so much better when you can just let somebody guide you down that pathway. Because I mean, yeah, I get people all the time saying, well, what about self-publishing? Can I write my own book? Sure, you can. It'll take you about 3 years, a lot of nights, weekends. And oh, by the way, you got your manuscript done. Great. Did you know there are about 17 other things now that you have to deal with? Who are you going to use for that? You're going to be a general contractor to create your book? That's not a good use of your time.
Right.
You don't make any money writing a book. Let us take care of that. You spend time with clients, we'll make it happen. Then we'll teach you how to make even more money with your book. But it's a mindset, right? You deal with that with your clients all the time. We all do. Yeah. That's what makes it fun, right?
Yes. But that's the work, I think, of being in this space of, hey, I provide a specific service, but at the same time, it's not about, we're not siloing it, right? So you are not helping someone create a book and be like, okay, there we go.
There's your book.
Yeah, here, figure it out.
Like it's funny. That's what we did at the very beginning in 2013, 14 or so. That's what I would do. I'd publish a book. There it is, Hannah. Way to go. And what happened is I started having clients coming back to me going, Michael, my book looks great. Thanks. Well, what do I do with that? They had no clue because they're not marketers. Okay. They might be great at financial advising, but they don't really understand marketing. And so we built marketing systems and strategies that we provide to our clients now to go, okay, wow, your books. How about referral? Do you like referrals, Hannah? Doesn't everybody love referrals from your best clients?
Right. A good referral is yes, gold.
And so how do you get a referral? Most people take their business card out and say, would you give my business card to somebody, please? No, Hannah. Thank you for allowing us to serve you and getting your retirement all set up. And we're so thrilled to work with you. Hannah, would you do me a favor? And if they're happy, what are they going to say?
Of course.
Thank you. Hannah, most of our clients don't come to us through the marketing and things you see us do online and all that. They come to us through recommendations from our happy clients. It'd mean a lot to me, Hannah. Would you do me a favor and take 3 or 4 copies of my book? And in the next week or 2 or 3, as you're just having conversations with your friends about how we've helped you set up your retirement, when the conversation gets around taxes or inflation, would you just take a copy of my book and say, well, here's the person we trust with our finances. You should read her book. Would you do that for me? Sure, I'd be happy. Now, what just happened there? I planted a seed in your best clients' minds and I gave them a script. I told them when to do it and how to do it. And I made it really cool for them. Is it more cool for them to go, here's the business card of my financial advisor, or to say, well, my financial wrote the book on.
Right.
That's how you start stimulating referrals and what we call cloning your best clients, because they run in circles of people just like themselves, that their friends, their neighbors, relatives, business church members, club members, whatever. You can expand your footprint 5 to 10 times through that one strategy.
Mm.
Doesn't cost you a penny of advertising. You're handing out a copy of your book. Anyway, it's little systems and strategies like that we teach our clients that exponentially grow their business by using their book and their authority to gain more clients. That's the fun that I get to have.
Love it. So tell us a little bit about how people can reach you. What does the process look like? Like, how long does it usually take?
Sure.
But yeah, maybe tell us that first. How long does it usually take to go through the process of creating your book? And yeah, how can people get in touch with you?
Great question. So the book writing process itself takes about 6 to 7 months, start to finish. Okay. Our programs are 12-month programs because we have message development, book creation, marketing, all roped into one thing. So it's not just a book. It's this holistic business growth system that you're going to get. And at the end of that year, you have an Amazon best-selling book, and you've got marketing systems that we're going to teach you how to gain money with clients with your book. So it's a 12-month program. Everything that you need is at paperbackexpert.com. There are videos there. There's testimonials there. There are free trainings there. There's a way to schedule a call with me there. We like to do a lot of education so that by the time we actually have a phone call, you're not coming in blind, right? You understand that, yeah, this might be a good thing for me to do. And then we can work together and say, okay, what are you trying to make happen? What all do you need? Because I mean, we do small books, we do big books, we do audiobooks, we do podcasts, we do all kinds of things. You may not need it all. What do you need? What are you trying to make happen? Where are you in your business? Those are the questions we're going to ask on our credibility conversation call. Find out, can I help you? And if I can, I'll let you know. And if I can't, I'll let you know. And I've got a big enough network, I can connect you with people who can help you. But it's really about saying, are we a good fit? And how do we help you achieve what you're trying to accomplish? If I can do that, love to work with you. But if it's not a good fit, I'll let you know, because there's nothing worse, Hannah, than getting involved with somebody that's not a good fit. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Same. Understood.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it for anybody.
Yes.
So real quick on that, I had a guy come to me a few months ago. He says, okay, Michael, I'm ready to do my book. And he's relatively new in business. And we had a conversation. I said, Ryan, you're not ready for a book. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, you're not ready yet. You've got an issue with messaging. Your message is not solid. So he went through one of our short-term coaching programs. We got his message dialed in. And now his business is growing. He's gaining clients. And now we're in discussions to say, okay, let's talk in about 3 to 6 months about starting your book, but let's get some revenue going because he's using some of our systems, but he was missing a strong message. And had I given him a book with a weak message, it would have been malpractice. And so that's why I mean that I'll let you know if you're not ready for a book, because that was not anyway.
I know. I think that's incredibly important. I mean, I do literally the same thing with people. If people come to me and it's not quite the right time yet, I need to, I would not be serving, anyone. Well, if I'm, basically, yes, give me your money and we'll make a plan no matter what. Right. Yeah. Give me your money and we'll just make a book and you can just deal with if it's good or not. Right.
The fallout.
Exactly. Versus giving people the steps. Hey, here are the things that I see that you need to improve on in these areas. And then, let's keep in touch.
That's right.
Come back. And that's exactly, I think that is where integrity, comes
Very
in.
much so.
And like true service, like truly serving your clients and serving the people who aren't your clients yet.
That's right. And exactly. And I've referred a lot of people that I've talked with to somebody else to say, you know what, I can't help you, but I know somebody who can based on what you've told me. I'm just going to make the connection and you two can talk and see if it's a good fit because they do what you need.
Right.
I mean, if you're coming to me for a CRM solution or to do Facebook ads,
right.
That ain't me, but I know people, right? I'm happy to make those connections, but it's finding what we do best. And we're just wicked good at what we do. But it's more than just a book. It is creating your book to build authority, credibility, but it's in how do you use that book in the marketing you've got going, some other strategies that we have to really engage with your audience in an integrous way, in a way that builds credibility so that they'll take a step towards you. You give them something of value that they'll never throw away. You know, it's sacrilegious to throw a book away in our culture.
Right? It feels terrible.
It does, which is a beautiful thing for me. You put this in somebody's hand and you're going to become a household name. That's what you want to be, is a resource for your audience. That's what we help our clients become, so that when they refer you to somebody, they're going to do online research, right? They're going to go to LinkedIn and they're going to go to Facebook. And what does all of that look like? Are you consistent in your messaging, saying, hey, Amazon bestselling author, Hannah Chapman? And then they go somewhere else and Amazon, oh, this girl's all over the place, right? And then they see your videos. They listen to your podcast where you're explaining different parts of your book. Wow. Who else is doing that?
Yeah.
Nobody. Because you're not a coffee bean any longer.
Right. I love that. I mean, I love coffee, but
I do too. Yeah. I mean, great. I just don't want to be a coffee bean.
I don't want to be a coffee bean either.
Yeah.
And on that, we will wrap up for today. And thank you again, Michael, so much for being here and explaining how you work with people and the beautiful work that you do and the heart-centered and heartfelt way that you do it just shines through. And I love that. So
thank you, Hannah. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share what we do.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we will be back again next week with someone new for you to connect with. But until then, like, subscribe, push all the buttons so that you can see what's happening and who I'm connecting with next, so that you can connect with them as well. Bye.